big
Hey y'all,
bad
my name is
John.
John Mitchell and I'm a certified financial coach. The purpose of this video and this channel is to teach you how to master the personal finance basics. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to calculate how much term life insurance you need. This is not the most fun topic to talk about because today we're really talking about
Who are you? I'm deaf.
Unfortunately, death is inevitable and it will happen to all of us. That is a fact. The problem with death is that we never know when it's going to come. And that's how term life insurance fits in. Like car insurance is to cars, if you have a vehicle accident, the car insurance is there to help you repair or replace the vehicle. Now, people are not like cars, so there is no replacing you and there's no replacing me. But what term life insurance can do is replace the monetary aspect that you may have provided into your family's life. So today we're going to be using the DIME method to discuss how much life insurance that you would need for your family. The DIME method is an acronym that helps us cover all of our bases when assessing how much life insurance we need. The D stands for debt, the I stands for income, the M stands for your mortgage, and then lastly, the E stands for education, specifically for children, although nowadays it's really, do you want to leave anything to your kids? So let's jump on in, break these down a little bit, and then I'll give you an example at the very end on how it would apply to an example case study. Now, jumping into D, or debt, to get us started for today, this covers any kind of debt minus your mortgage that you may have. So that could be credit card debt, it could be a personal loan, it could be a car debt if you have something like that. And what you want to do is tally up or total up the total value of all this debt, because in the event that you pass away, it would be nice for, if you're married, for your spouse, or if you have other family, for your family to not have to deal with this debt if you pass away. I almost forgot, a big one to add here is student loans. Yes, for federal student loans, those debts are wiped away in the event that the recipient of said loans has passed away, but that cannot necessarily be guaranteed or the same for different private loans out there. The next category is I, or income, and what this is totaling up the total amount of income you'd like to replace from your spouse or significant other who has passed away. This is most commonly associated with if the breadwinner, if you will, has passed away. So in my family, I myself am the primary breadwinner. Let's say, for example, that I made $100,000 every single year, annualized, and we wanted to replace my income. Typically in the industry, you're looking at a multiplier of between 6 and possibly even as high as 12x on that income, depending on how conservative you'd like to be or not like to be in that situation. My wife, Abby, and I ourselves did a 10x multiplier. So with the example of $100,000 as my annual income, we would have at least a minimum of $1 million in this term life insurance policy to cover all the income that my wife would lose in the event I passed away. If you have not already, like and subscribe to this video, as it helps me see what content you all like and want to see in the future. A great alternative to thinking about income is, let's say within your family, you have a breadwinner and then you have someone that stays at home, just for the example. Well, let's say your person who stays at home dies or passes away. What are you going to do then? Now you probably have to start paying for childcare. You may, depending on your job, need to start paying for cleaning services or laundry services. So I think there's a lot of these little costs that whoever takes care of your household may take care of now, that in the event that they pass away, may not be able to take care of in the future. And I think that's a big expense you should add into their life insurance policy, their term life policy. Moving on to letter M, or our mortgage category. Of course, if you don't have one, you just put a fat zero here and move on. But for those of you who have a mortgage, what you want to do is put the total amount remaining on your mortgage balance. If you have multiple houses, up to you if you'd like to put all your mortgages on for your life insurance policy. Of course, this will grow it a lot more. So that's something to think about. And again, it'll cost you more every single month. But many people just own one home or have a primary residence. And so I highly recommend you put the remaining cash value of your mortgage on there, because at the end of the day, if you're going to pass away, you may as well help cover some of these big expenses. And last but not least, the E stands for education in our DIME acronym. Now, education, really, it's education for children or your little ones for the future. I think you can kind of expand this one to not just be education or college or vocational school for the future, but really, how much would you like to leave your children in the event you pass away? All right, now that we all understand the DIME process in evaluating our term life insurance needs, let's go ahead and run into a quick example, and then we'll close out for today. So our case study, our example today will be John Doe. John Doe's debts include a car loan of $15,000, a student loan with $7,000 remaining. He has a income annual income of $75,000. He has $369,000 left on his mortgage, and then he would like to leave $250,000 left to his one kid now. He might have more in the future. How much term life insurance do y'all think he needs? I'll let you calculate that real quick. All right, if you guessed $1,392,000, you'd be correct. That's it. That's how much term life insurance John Doe needs in the event that he were to pass away from whatever circumstances. I hope you all got something out of today's video. It's incredibly important to take care of our families in the event that we pass away. And as we learned today, it's not just the primary breadwinner, if you will, it's also your spouse as well. Just because, you know, in my case, my wife may not make all the money for our household, she still has an important role that she plays in our family. And if she passes away, we need to cover that as well. Also, as we close out, if anyone offers you any other kind of life insurance out there, whole life, universal life, index universal life, don't talk to them. They don't know what they're talking about. Those life insurances, which we will cover in future videos, uh, they don't serve the purpose. As Dave Ramsey likes to put it, life insurance is life insurance. It's not an investment tool. It's not a way to grow and build wealth. There are way better tools out there that some of these specialists in life insurance that they don't know about these. And it's important to just stick to using a tool for its purpose. And the purpose of term life insurance is to insure you in the event you pass away. Plus, if you're in the military, use the SGLI. It's already there, and they just auto deduct it from your account. It's great life insurance. It's at a good rate, and it's going to cover you in the event that you pass away while serving in the military. There are some term life insurances that may not cover you due to death while serving in the military. That's just how it is. That's just what it is. They don't want to insure it, so you won't get it. So at the very least, take advantage of the SGLI. It's super important. It's available. Use it. If you're looking for a financial coach to help you better understand life insurance and to help you navigate that process to get a policy that's right for you, sign up for a free coaching appointment today with the link in the description or in the comments section down below. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see y'all in the next video.